I think it looks perfect. I think it gives it a good contrast. It's not too sharp. Wow, it looks good. It feels good. I think overall, again, turned out really nice. It looks like it's going to last for a very long time. That's how you have a high quality print.
Transfer superstars with the fabric we imprinted. Transfer superstars, yeah.
What's up, superstars? On today's video, we're gonna dive into Kittl and show you guys some designing tips and tricks. We're gonna actually be creating some bootleg t-shirts. If you guys are not familiar with what bootleg t-shirts are, it's basically comprised of some big fonts and some famous actors, rappers, any of that streetwear designs that you have seen out there that are big images. We're gonna show you how easy it is to create it with Kittl. The issues that I've seen with it is a lot of times people are just right-clicking and saving from old images off the web, which really doesn't look good and translate well onto t-shirts. So we're gonna use the power of AI and Kittl and show you how easy it is to create these awesome designs. So let's get right in. All right, guys, so you're gonna head over to Kittl. If you guys don't have Kittl already, go ahead and click on the link below, download the version, and get the free copy that you guys can use today. We actually have the paid version so that I can export some high quality, transparent images. First thing that you wanna do with Kittl, let's go ahead and dive into the templates. We're gonna go ahead and go to the t-shirts. What I'm looking for, since I'm creating a streetwear, is I wanna look for some big, nice text on top. So let's just go ahead and look at some trendy designs. Gonna look for something that has a nice big text to start off with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one right here. Let's see how it looks. I kind of like the way the text looks. Even though it's not perfect, I think it might work for what we're trying to do. At this point, I'm just gonna delete this part of things. So let's just clean this up. I don't want that, I don't want that. Don't need that. And then let's go to design. So we're gonna go to image generator here. And again, this is their AI tool actually that you guys can use, play around with. I would go ahead and check out their image styles. So here's a digital art, anime, photography, acrylic, synthwave, oil painting, psychedelic, retro photo. You got some clip art that you guys can choose. But let's just go ahead and keep this simple here. I'm just gonna go with digital art for now, just to see how that looks like. The image here, so I'm gonna go with a streetwear design. So I'm gonna do one of my favorite rappers, Tupac. So let's just go ahead and do Tupac, and one of my favorite shows these days is gonna be Game of Thrones. So let's put Tupac on the Game of Thrones chair with a black background. So I'm gonna do the black background, so it might make it easier for me to remove after, so I don't want anything fancy on there. So let's see how this looks with AI generating this. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let me see. Let's stretch this out. Man, this is pretty wild. I'm pretty happy with the way it is. Even though it's not an iron chair, I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of like more classic for him, since he is in the 90s. So let's go for that. All right, so let's change this text. I'm gonna go ahead and change it to King Pac, right? And then let's go ahead and enlarge this. I'm gonna right click this to bring this up to the front of the image. Kind of don't love this font after everything is said and done, so let's change out the font. Gonna look for something that looks a little bit better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It matches a streetwear look. Let's increase this size. Bring this in the center. Once you bring this to the center, that blue line will go up. Let's go ahead and bring this right here. And I think it looks pretty good. Let's just increase this out this way so that it evens out a little bit. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. So it does have a background to it. Let me try to remove the background. I don't know what it's going to do. Sometimes it removes a lot of it. I hope it just takes off what's needed. Okay, so that kind of removed a little bit. It removed a lot, but not too much. Okay, I'm gonna redo this actually, because it's not a clean background removal. So let me go back to here. Tupac on Game of Thrones chair. Game of Thrones chair with large swords, clean, black, solid background, no splatter. Let me see how that works. Because that splatter is actually causing some of the background issues. Oh wow, this one looks pretty good. But let's see. Let me remove this. I mean, that looks pretty good. I don't know what looks better. So I'm gonna reverse this back with the splatter. I mean, both of them look pretty good, but I think it looks better without the background. So let's try that again. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It has that sword that goes to the back. I think that's a nice touch to it. So at this point, let's just go ahead and download the image since the background's been removed and I can trust that it's been removed. Let's do 300 DPI. Let's change this to inches. Since this is a streetwear, I want it pretty big. Let's do about 14 by 18. I think that's a good size. And then let me just move this down a little bit. Let's try that again. I think that looks better. Oh, so you got to change the setting. 14. Okay, so 14 by 17 and a half. I think that's pretty big. Let's go ahead and remove background so that it makes sure that it export without the background. Optimize the image quality. PNG is fine, and let's go ahead and export. All right, it's a 16.8 megabyte file, so it is a pretty decent size. Let's just go ahead and go to our website and go use our gang sheet builder. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my gang sheet builder on the website to not only take a look at the image, but also make sure that the background is removed completely. That's some of the issues that people have when they don't remove the background properly. So we're gonna choose the regular gang sheet builder. Let's just do the 24 because this is a pretty big image. Start a brand new gang sheet. Open up the images. This is the file name. Click on him. There you go, it's loaded up. Let me double check. Yeah, there you go. So right now the image size is 13 by 16 because there's actually some background space here. As you guys can see, that's why it's actually not 14 inches. So when I actually bring it here, the true size is going to be about 13 by 16. It's still showing as a decent resolution. So if I want to, I can actually increase this. So as soon as I increase it, it does lower the DPI. You know what? Let's go ahead and do 14 inches and then rotate it. There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this a little bit. I'm gonna make this more efficient. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click duplicate. Okay, it doesn't let me duplicate. I have to choose a larger size. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna manually crop this. So let's just do 12 inches there. Click duplicate. That lets me duplicate. Then I'm going to actually rotate this way since the POC is like right there. Let's just go ahead and increase this to 14 inches. Let's scroll that up. Let's do about 13 so I can fit 2 of these in here. Same with this one. I'm also going to do 13 inches. Let's bring this up. I'm going to zoom in to take a look to see if there's any. Technically, our tool is going to show that it's overlapping, but because I'm manually doing this process, you can technically overlap and it'll print efficiently. So I think 13 inches is going to be my size here, 13 by 16 and a half, 13 to 16.12. I think that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and export this. We're gonna print it. I'm gonna show you guys how it looks on a t-shirt, so let's go. What's up, superstars? We are back. I've got the gang sheet that we set up ready to show you guys, but I did want to talk briefly about the artwork that we created. It was a mashup between one of my favorite childhood rappers, being Tupac, as well as one of my favorite shows currently, which is Game of Thrones. Now keep in mind, this was for personal use, it's not for sale. It is considered IP, so you want to make sure that you're designing something for yourself that's not going to be intellectual property if you're going to be selling it. Now again, my main goal here is to show you guys how easy it is to brainstorm something and create it using AI tools that you can get simply from things like Kittl. So let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork, and I can go ahead and show you exactly what I see here, some of the things that I like, dislike, as well as get this pressed onto a t-shirt so you guys can see the final results. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, this was our 22 by 25 gang sheet. I could have added more transfers onto the side, but for this tutorial's sake, I just wanted to go ahead and get this put onto the gang sheet for you guys and show you guys how it looks. Now, first glance, it looks pretty good. You guys can tell that it is a mixture between Tupac as well as the Game of Thrones. We added the sword here. The text font actually looked pretty well, and we actually kept that grunge look so that it looks nice and vintage. I think it's gonna match the shirt that we chose for this t-shirt video. Let me know what you guys think. Now, at first glance, everything looks pretty good, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna flip this over for you guys so that we can dive a little bit closer and take a look at everything that's involved here. So before I turn this over, let's talk briefly about the size. Again, we went ahead and went with a 13-inch wide design, and it was 13 inches by 16 inches in height. I was able to flip this side by side and maximize this print and get two of these in our gang sheet. Now let's turn this over briefly so that we can look at the true part of the design. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing here, even though the AI did a good job at creating the overall artwork, it didn't create a vector file. It wasn't very sharp as far as the details. If you're looking closely at the edges here, you can see that it is not contracted perfectly. There are some white edges that seep to the side. You can see it very, very obviously all around the whole print right here. I did have a sample that we're gonna be shooting a short video with that is gonna have proper contraction. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip that over for you guys. Again, with DTF, we wanna put a white background behind it so that the glue adhesive is gonna be on there and it's not gonna be apparent when you're putting it on a shirt. If you see this, let me remove this shirt real quick, or that transfer. If you look, you can see this black outline that shows the white layer is actually contracted properly. And again, when you guys press this onto a shirt, you're not gonna see any of the white lines. That's how you have a high quality print. But again, going back to this example, you have some edges with some opacity here. It's not quite solid, it has some transparency, and overall it has a little bit of a fuzzy outline, even though I exported this at high resolution. So guys, what that tells me is, even though you're creating artwork from, let's say, Kittl, or you're using Midjourney or Dolly, things like that, it is great to brainstorm and get things worked on, but you might have to take it back into a legit program like Photoshop in order to really clean it up, so to make it really perfect print quality. But I think overall, this is still gonna work for what we're trying to do. Let's go ahead and flip this over again. When we go ahead and get this prepped up, I'm gonna tell you the shirt that we selected for this job. Let's just go ahead and cut down the line right here. I'm gonna give it a quick curve because that's where I gang sheeted this. All right, perfect. Now that I have this on the side, I'm just gonna go ahead and use our cutter. I'm gonna trim off this color bar. Now this is one of our newest cutters. I like this because you can cut both ways instead of just one directional. Also, I didn't mention it is a dolly cutter in case you guys need to add this to your arsenal. So that's a pretty good amount. Even though it is not cut perfectly here, it should be very easy for me to align this afterwards. So for the blank, we went with a comfort colors. This is the 1717. I personally like this because it's a nice vintage look. Even though this is considered black, kind of looks more like a charcoal to me. But again, I like this one because it's actually acid washed, so it will actually have a reduced shrinkage, and it gives it that nice vintage look, which looks perfect for the grunge design that we're offering. And again, it's also a relaxed fit. So again, it's really popular these days for having that relaxed, oversized streetwear. Then I think this is a perfect color. What do you guys think? All right, let's go and do a quick measurement of the t-shirt. I'm a size large, so this is a large that we chose here. The armpit, I'm getting an overall width of about 21.5 inches. And the height of the design, I am getting from the bottom seam, almost about 24 inches. So slightly bigger from your normal oversized tees. Now for our press, we're gonna be using our Prisma heat press. What I went ahead and did is kind of faint, but we have these lines that we drew right onto the heat press. That gives me the grid here. It's really hard to kind of mark this with a permanent marker because of the surface here, but we have a new laser system that we will be releasing on our website that helps you align it without getting in the way for production's sake. So we have this all the way down here. So once we pull it out, we know this is always set right into the center. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is slip this all the way through. I have our heat press set at 300 degrees and we're only pressing for 7 seconds. So first thing I'm going to do is just to make sure that everything is nice and aligned and straight. I'm gonna go ahead and take it in. We're gonna do a quick pre-press to remove all the moisture in the fabric. I have it at 9, so this is firm pressure. Pop up, let's pull it back. Now let's get our design. So what you want to do in this particular case, for us, a quick trick is to kind of go from the end to the end part of the artwork. We're gonna just go ahead and line up the top, just giving it a quick crease. This gives us the center point, so we know exactly where it's at in the center. I have this lined up at 3 inches, which is about 4 fingers worth. So it is straight. Again, even though my crease is here, I do want to bring the print all the way to the top of the print, which is going to be right here where the P is at. I just need to line this up. Boom. There you go. It's nice and centered. Going to push it back in there. 300 degrees. 7 seconds is all that we need. Now, technically, you can hot peel it. It is coming off already, but because it has some raw edges here, I want to make sure that I get the most transfer off of this transfer. So I'm going to let it cool down for a few seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull it. So you can touch the surface. It's a little cool now. Grab it, peel off. Now, you can actually technically flip this around, go for that second press, but we're going to go ahead and use a new paper that we're going to be releasing, which is also a matte. It gives it a nice matte finish, and it gives it more of a screen printed feel and look to it. Let's go ahead and do a second press. Look at the texture that the secondary film actually did, or paper actually did. Gives it a nice screen printed feel, but the edge is what I was talking about. Now, if this shirt was darker, you would see those lines being more predominant, but because it is a nice charcoal film, I think it looks perfect, and it looks actually intentional even. So I think it gives it a good contrast. It's not too sharp. And then look at all that. Wow, it looks good. It feels good. It has really good stretchability. Now, let me put this on for you. I am a size large, so give me 1 second. All right, guys, there you have it. Size large on me. I think it's a perfect fit. It's not too tight. The arms fit perfectly. It has a nice side width to it. I think overall, again, turned out really nice, especially with that vintage look there. It looks like it's gonna last for a very long time. And it's also, again, acid wash, so it's not gonna shrink as much as you would see on other t-shirts. Now, again, guys, my name is Phil. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything that we need to cover, let me know. We'd love to create a video on that. And if you guys have any transfers need, make sure you guys hit us up. We'd love to fulfill your orders and earn your business. My name is Phil. I'll catch you guys on the next one.